So is voice is clear right now? Everyone audible?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So yesterday we covered right like the testing or the type of testing is there in a like very high level way. What are things is there? What is selenium, right? And what are the topics we'll be learning it, right? So this is a concept we'll be learning. So now if you have any doubts, we'll discuss doubts and we'll go with the section. If you have any doubts, any questions, then we'll start day two. No one is clear?
Excuse me.
Yeah, any doubts?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have.
yes,
So this
yes.
is this is the first class. Can you little bit explain yesterday class?
Yeah, I will cover you separately. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
cover separately whoever has missed yesterday, right? So don't worry on that. Right. So yesterday we covered nothing but like basics of testing, what we're going to discuss, what is class about myself, and what you learn from this class. Nothing much.
Hi Ravi, this is Sharanya. This is my first class today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will join. I will
Yeah.
join. Yeah.
No issues, no issues, Aranya. Yeah, for you guys, right? I'll take a class separately. Don't worry. Just as a kind
Oh,
of introduction class yesterday, and
okay.
what you are
Okay.
learning, what your expectations.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, okay. Any other doubts? No, right? Shall we continue? Okay. Let's see. So first we'll be discussing this manual testing, right? This 1 or 2 days completely about manual testing topics. Then we'll go to Java. Then we'll go to Selenium. So as I mentioned already, Selenium is like you can say 40 comments. You can say 10 components. If you learn the 10 components, Selenium is very easy. Nothing. So to make sure to write a Selenium code easily or in like an expert level, right? You should learn Java. So we'll teach Java and slowly so that make sure you will be Java experts. We shouldn't be like a Java expert developers. We should have Java experts. As that we should write Selenium code. Or if someone asking the interview questions, right? We should able to write a code. Or if someone given project in Selenium, we should able to write a code. So we'll be learning Java in that we don't have to worry like we don't have to learn the algorithms, data structures, nothing. We will have some Java oops concepts are there. We'll be learning that concepts only. Make sure you're able to write it. Right. So now if these days, right, if you check anyone, lot of resumes will have Selenium, Selenium, Selenium. So how the recruiter will know whether this guy is really working on Selenium or is it kept like that? Right? If you go to any internet, right, you have some 3 4 blogs, you can learn the interview questions on Selenium and you can start working on that. Right? But that's why recruiter will ask a different questions now. This is because they know whether really worked on Selenium or not, whether you're like I kept or like just read, go just did some basic project. That's where Java knowledge will comes on. See, in the Selenium, you can't ask any questions out of 40 comments or 10 components I'm telling, right? So everyone will give answer on that. But only things will be Java. So he'll be asking a code, write optimized code. Suppose you write a code, right? Suppose you have some written 5 lines of code, basic one. Now you ask me, he will ask you, how can I write other way? Or they'll say, I will give this is my inputs, how to write a code dynamically. That's the things in place. The guys who are looking for interviews, right? Got it, right? So we'll be learning Java easily and we'll spend a lot of time on Java only. Okay. So then we'll go to Selenium. So now we'll discuss about just bit one manual testing topics today. And wow, in the next class, right? Half of the topics are manual testing. From that time onwards, next time onwards, we'll be covering Java and Selenium. Right? Yeah. So let's go to data. So now let's see the manual testing process. Because if you do any automation testing, you should know manual testing process also. Even though you won't be a manual tester, but you should know manual testing process. So then only you can get to know where automation testing comes on, where automation fits it. Right. So basics is very important for the process or code or learning. So if you learn the basics strongly and take a time, then we can become expert easily. It's not like that I will write a code in and now I'll be an expert tomorrow, today or tomorrow. So we'll spend a lot of time basics and understanding of any application architecture. Okay. And few people are not from non-IT background or they started career, right? I mean, so they should know how the things in place existingly. Okay. So for any application, any project, right? So there is a process first, a testing process. Okay. So we discussed right yesterday why your testing is required, because to give a sign off or to make sure the product is should be into the production environment. So we will be testing it, and we'll make sure that there is no other defects, or the defects, minor defects, right? Then we'll say we'll note of it. So minor defects, but this can go. This is a major defect. This should not go. Defects is nothing but our bugs. Defects are bugs, nothing but based on our requirements, whether the requirement is able to do it or not. So yesterday we discussed Amazon, right? Let's today discuss some website. Okay, let's see. This is the website is there. So now you can say major and minor bug difference, right? Suppose clicking on login is not working. That we call major bug, because without login, how user will go to the all do other transactions? It's clear, right? What is a minor bug? If you see the MP store, this some name is added, or here some extra things are there. That's called minor bug, because that not impact any functionality. Correct? Does not impact any functionality, called minor bug. So it's okay. Suppose there is people are waiting, and the real users are waiting for the fixes. So we can release the application to production with minor bugs, because not impacting functionality and it's urgent. So then we'll release the application, says that the QA or test lead or our testers will have a document says that what we have done testing, what we have observed. Okay, what are things are there? So that's gonna be a minor bugs and major bugs, right? So let's discuss about the process first. Okay, the testing process. So just let me know at any time if you're not able to understand any words or the speed or anything. Okay. Because someone people, right, they may know the words new. So first we have to collect the requirement. So requirement could be design documents. See, for manual testing or automation testing, without knowing what is application, how we'll write test it? See, till execution part, manual testing or automation testing are same. At the time of execution, only automation will do with the code, manual testing will do manual tester by manually. So till that part, before and after process, execution, before execution and after execution process is same. Right? So that's why whenever we go anywhere into our changing projects, right, you should say manual tester and you should have also automation tester. That's like more weightage. If you say only I'm an automation tester, I don't manual testing, wait, there could be a project, right? They're looking for both. And to right, most of the projects in the interview time, they will know, okay, there should be automation. But if you go to the inside, they can't say 100% automation. It could be 40% manual, 60% automation. That's why we need to learn the both processes. Wherever it fits, right? If you know 100% automation, we'll go. There are some manual testing also, we can do that. Okay. So the requirement of the design documents. Means what and how. Okay. It says, suppose this is my application. Let's say this is my company application. They will say, if you click on button, search, if you click on search should work. If I click on login, it display login page. See, login page displaying now. If I give a register, it should go to register page. Right? If I go to demos, it should place demos page. This is a kind of a functionality. So that things will be available in the requirement. You understood, right? These are requirements we have: low level, high level, or architect level, kind of different documents will be there. So as a tester, as our scope, our scope will be, suppose in each and application, if you take a Walmart. So in the Walmart, you can see like some 100 pages are there. So as a tester, you will get only few things. So 100 pages can't be tested by each single person, right? If you are testing team, like 5 members or 10 members, it will get divided. Or the scope will be set. So they said, let's only test home page. This is home page now. When I click on home page, let's click the services page. Let's say this is scope for you. So you have to go through each and these documents, understand. See, this is common for both manual and automation. Okay. Yeah. So you have to understand, okay, this is a page is there, and this should be look like this, and this is changing, right? This is changing like this. and the images are changing, right? So you should understand the functionality of it, right? So once you get requirement design documents, we will go through it. So now you will write a test cases. So before test cases, we'll write test scenarios. So before test scenarios, we'll write a test strategy document. Test strategy document. Strategy document, nothing but what you're gonna do. What will testing here? So I will say, okay, this is our scope is this. We'll be writing this type of test case or scenarios, and we will be executing it, and we'll be attaching the result like this. That's what strategy document. Okay, it could be prepared by your QA lead, or nowadays anyone can prepare, right? Or there could be some common template for our project. Okay, now once test strategy document done, you have to run test scenarios. Test scenarios nothing but on a high level way. Okay, I'm covering service pages, home page, a kind of high level way. Then we'll be writing test cases. What is test case? Each and every step, right? We'll be writing a test case. Test case nothing but what you're gonna test. That's called test case. So these test cases are important for both the testing. Without this test case, you can't write a code or you can't write a test. So this is our Bible. For testers, test case is our like Bible. I mean, it's like guide. Everything will be defined in test case only. So while writing test case, we have to be very, very careful. We have to spend a lot of time on writing test case only. If the team has already written some test cases, right? You join newly, let's say. If team are already test cases, you can use it. Or the manual team is there, now there's automated testing team they want to form. Right? So if manual testing team already there, then you can take the manual test and convert into automated test cases. Okay. What is test case? Test case nothing but what are the steps, and we'll have what is our expected result and actual result, and description. Means what is our test case? Suppose, right, I want to do a login. Let's say what is my login? Okay, so this is my test case. So for login functionality, what will there? So you have to enter email address in the email box and click on continue. So we'll write like step like that. Enter email in the email box and click on continue. This is our steps. Now what is expected output? If you click on continue and give the value, my expected output is, it should, okay, we got robot or human, right? My expected should display robot or human page. This is what expected we'll write. But while running, right, for executing test cases, we'll go through one by one test case. Then at the time, we'll see what is the actual output. Then we'll have test case, pass and failure status. Right? If test case pass means if test case pass or fail, if working or not. If it failed, then we'll have defect number. And we have defect status. Like that, you can see, it's like, right? How we'll prepare test cases of that document. So we have a lot of tools. So people are using writing test cases or they will maintain actuals like that. See, automation and manual, same thing. So now automation testing will come only whether it is we can do with automation or not. Suppose you have 100 test cases. Out of 100 test cases, how many test cases can be automated? How can be manual? We can't say, right? Everything can be automated. So that's you will go the test case will mention in the separate status whether it is automation or not. Or if the team wants, right, explicitly, you can write in or automation test case separately. What you're gonna do? Okay, yeah. See the requirement, and we get a high level scenarios, and in the plan, right, strategy document or test plan, like we'll mention what are scenarios going into, what are tools we're using, is there any dependencies, any risk. Risk is nothing but what you're gonna not test. There is some common scope, right, where you couldn't able to test it properly. So that's where it will come on the risk. As I mentioned, test case will write a detailed steps. It could be 120, and you will say expected and actual, what number of passes. So once your test strategy, test case document is done, now you have to go to your developer or your manager for the review. For the review, review means what you're going to test, right? You have to also consider, no, you can't say, okay, I've been testing this. So you have to get approval, whether you missed anything or not, whether you need to add anything or not, whether extra scope is there or not, like that. Your developer also will go to test cases and will refer, okay, this is a good test case, or he will suggest you if you are missing any test cases. Right? It's like team effort. So then once your review is done, then we'll start with the execution. Execution nothing but will be testing manually. If it's manual test case, right? I will give this one, okay, working or not. If it's automation, I'll run automation code. Right? So in the automation, in this phase, we'll be writing a code, some time for code. We have to prepare automation code, no? For manual, we can do directly, but we will write automation code. So we'll take some time for automation code preparation, then we'll do the execution. Right? So once you execution, now we'll get to know our test cases status, pass or fail, how many test cases executed, how many test cases not executed. Then we'll go, if there is some test cases which are not working as per expected, we'll be raising defect. Right? We're raising defects or bugs. So common tool is Jira, right? You can use Bugzilla. We have QLM, QC. Lot of tools are there. Any tool, common life cycle. So common, like the bug, priority, status, what other thing is there. So after that, now, once you report a bugs, right? Now your developer will go through that. Okay, I got 10 bugs. Right? Once you're done with all the testing execution, so we'll be raising a bugs, right? Based on our test cases. So now your developer will go through it, go through all the bugs, and he will fix few, right? Fix means okay, fix it the code and he deployed. And few, right? He may do in some other releases that we call deferred. Okay, let's say fix. So now whatever we did, right, all these things in execution could be a V1 version. Okay, now once the developer bugs and fix, right, we got a V2. V2 is nothing but a few bug fixes. If you see Android apps, right, we'll get updates. If you observe what is update is there is a bug fixes. It's common whenever in the IT, right, for any application, any apps, any softwares, any websites, we got upgraded because of fixes or features. They want to add more features. They want like that. And so we got different version numbers. Correct. Right. So we got V2 version as of now for understanding. So actually we discussed, right, V2. So now first our goal is we have to test whatever the bugs is fixed or not. First priority. That's what we call to test only bugs in the new build. Retesting. Come on, guys. Please be active or please ask questions. Right? If you're not able to answer, please share in the chat. What we did retesting? Actually, we discussed. What is retesting? Come on. Anyone? What is retesting?
Checking for the bugs, like if they have been fixed.
Others? Any other answers? Anyone?
We need to check everything. So whatever even they have fixed and whatever, if there is any while fixing, there might be anything issues may pop up again. So we need to fix everything one more time on the page.
Right. So retest nothing but whatever the bugs is there, we'll be testing that first. Correct. Now, along with the bugs, so he said, okay, there is issue here. So along with the bugs, there could be a chance of leaking bugs in other application or other pages, right? That's what we call regression testing.
Regression testing.
So yeah, we'll do regression testing, make sure that all application is safe along with the bug area. Okay. So once retesting and regression testing, then now we'll update your bug status. So if it's fixed, right, you will move the fix it to resolvable or close. Okay. If not fixed, right, it's not working as per recommending, we'll reopen. Okay. That's where our bug life cycle. So first thing is whenever you open the bug, it is a new, right? Whenever ever developer has assigned, right, it's open. New means no one has assigned it. And developer hasn't open. When you fix it, working on fix, right? And if say test means it's now testing status. If it's working, we'll do close. If not, if we want to reopen, we reopen. So if you want to do in other next releases, not in this release, called deferred. Means the bug is not fixed, but it will be fixed in next releases, not this releases. Okay. Now combination of all, suppose we have got 3-4 builds like this. Suppose we have a span of some 1 month or 15 days, 1 month. So in this 1 day, 15 months QA cycle. means at this time, no developer activity will be there. Because if they're developing application, right, again, you have to test it from scratch, no? So at this time, there's no development activity. It's completely sprint. We call it sprints, right? Nowadays, Scrum is nothing but sprint calls, right? So we have sprint like 2 weeks to 3 week or 1 week to 4 weeks based on the project in the sprint. So no development on the application, only testing. So let's say in this testing cycle, we have 3 to 4 builds. So then once you're done with your cycle, you will have a complete testing report. Okay, testing report. So testing report is nothing like what we did, what are the bugs, how many builds we have tested, what are the issues we observed. Everything will in one testing report. So this report is a like safeguard us, because once you're done and once it relates to production, right? In the production means in the real environment. Once real environment, if any people facing the issue, that's very critical. Getting a bug in the UAT or dev environment is okay. UAT or dev environment is okay. But if you're getting the bug in the production, that's very costly. Because production means people real users, right? They are, due to them, we are getting the money, we are getting the projects. If the website is not using by a lot of people, then we won't get revenue, right? If we won't get revenue, we won't be having a project. So that's why while dealing a testing, we should be very good, because all the blame will come to testing only. If someone says, I'm not able to click on something, or suppose product is not displayed, right? That's a very serious. So they will come to directly testing team, why it is missed in our testing environment, why it is in the production. So that's where the reporting of test case will cover whether our test case is covered or not, that test case. And if test case is covered, whether we execute it or not, if we execute it, what we mentioned in the report. Right? So you should have a proof of all these documents. So getting a bug in production is very, very important. So now let's say we have proof that it's not covered, it's covered, and it's not found in the our environments, but in the production environment, then it's not our fault. Ideally, whatever we tested now, the same, suppose V2 is the final here, the same V2 should go to production. V3 is done, V3 is done, going to production. Let's say it is missed in our testing due to some our human negligence errors, right? Correct. There could be scope, right? Due to some time constraints, you missed the writing the test case or you missed the test case functionality. So then you have to take the blame and you have to be responsible why it is missed and how we will be sorting out. If it's small, minor bugs in production, that's okay. But if it's big, bazar bugs in the production, right, the impact will be a little bit higher. Okay, so that's our testing report. Till this process clear, right? That's a very basic process for any testing, manual testing process or automation testing process. Have any doubts here? Come on, guys, please. Any issues? If you're not able to understand, just let me know. Okay, shall we continue? Right. Now, in the automation way execution, right? So here we'll be writing whether we'll convert our manual testing into automation, right? Whether we'll convert manual testing into automation, or we'll mention, okay, because see, suppose if you see here, why can't say everything is automated? Because few things, right? You have to test manually only. Few things. Everything can't be automated. We can say 90% or 80% can be automated, not if entire testing suite of automation. So you have to tell the reasons in the developers or a manager why it's not be automated, what is the challenges. Suppose, see, let's say example, suppose if I click on delivery here, right? It will get to some other website. It's not rating, so we have to manually log into some delivery website and we have to check it. So these are like dependencies, right? Where code can't do. I'm telling a normal example. So in that case, you have to mention that. I can do only few automation only. This is a coverage. Okay, and if your application is not stable, even though you can write automation test cases, the code will fail. Make sure our application is stable because it can't be changed every time. Stable nothing but if the application deployed, that's it. Suppose see now they're using Walmart here, right? Next time they can't use Walmart here. Or sign is using here, they can't keep signing down. Or they can't change the elements in the backend. You understood? That's called stable. Because if you see, you are writing a code to click on sign in here. But after running, after some time, your application can sign into here. What will happen? Your code will fail, right? Because it looks for sign in this part only. So that's why your application should be stable for to write automation testing. If your application not able to keep on every time changing until it's fixed or until it's stable, you can't run your automation test case. Right? So our requirement is either manual test case or automation test case or stability of the application. Okay. So now once you're done with all this process, right? As mentioned, we have to go to requirement and we will collecting the what is what and what, right? So now let's understand the functional testing. Functional testing and manual testing, let's say little bit deeper. Okay. So now this is a functional testing, nothing but we have to see how the things are working on. If search, I'm clicking on, right? Suppose let's search cycle. Let me complete this route and mother will keep on asking. No? Yeah. So we are getting cycles or not. See, now manual I can see, okay, I'm getting cycles or not. If I want to check the code, whether I'm getting cycles or not, can I do that? I want to see my functionality or behavior. If I search the cycle, I should see cycles only. Correct? That's what expected behavior, right? Functionality. So now if I want to check the code, can I check through code? These things? Few can do, few can't do, right? So that's where our behavior testing. So you should know what you want to test and how to test it. Okay. So then we should know what is objects. Like, see, this is a text box, right? This is a link, right? Suppose if you go to our sign in, there's a buttons. Okay, let's go to create account. Okay, this text box. To see the text. Okay. So this is a checkbox. So radio buttons, right? You should know what is it meant for. So checkbox, even though you click on checkbox, it should work. But if you know radio buttons, right? You have to select either of the radio buttons. Let's see what is the radar button, where we can find radar button. Let's see radar button example to understand radar button example. Okay, let's try it. So this is a radar button, right? So either of the radar button you shall select it. So you should know, okay, radar button should be selected, then only go to next place, or like this. Even though for this checkbox, right, even though it's not selected, it can't go like that. So you should be able to understanding this complete. Suppose you're given any application, either way. See, this is common for manual or automation testing, right? Yeah. So either way, you can get to understand of what is what all those things. Right now, domain. So you should have a better knowledge on domain. Suppose you're working on e-commerce, so you should know how e-commerce should work in real time. If you're in health care, right? How your health or aspect products or aspect products app should be there. If it's like banking or if it's a trading or sales or Salesforce application, anything, you should be gain knowledge of that. How? Suppose see, this is a Walmart. Let's say this is new. They're trying to launch this new time. This is a one commerce company. So now you have to compare how existing e-commerce applications there. So what is existing e-commerce? Right? We have Amazon. So let's go to Amazon. Okay, so this is like existing e-commerce application. So we should be checking our application. Okay, this is like it should be there. We're getting these options. They're like this commands. So you have to have that domain knowledge. The more you better knowledge, the more is domain knowledge, right? You can do better things. Okay. Okay. So, okay. It means suppose getting data, right? Okay. It should be stored or if it's validated, right? Suppose let's go to sign in. Mm, let's click come to here. So now if you click on login, right? So if you give username and password, what will happen? What will happen if you username and password? Click on login. We're getting that login page, right? You say welcome Ravi to and logout is there. So what is happening in between now? If I click username and password, if I click on login, but I'm getting home page, right? Now tell me what could be happening in the back end. Come on, guys. What will happen if you click on login? How will getting the home page?
It check the information in the database stored. Or
Okay.
if it is the new user, it saves the entries into the database.
Okay. Any others?
It calls the API.
Okay. Okay. Others?
It's verifying the password.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So today, right, the class is completely interactive. We'll be keep on asking the questions one to one. In that way only we can learn. Right? If you are not able to like this approach, please let me know so that I won't be asking the questions. Right? Because you understood, right? If you learn the things in this way only. If you keep on listening, if you keep on teaching, right, you won't get the concept. Maybe few people may understand it, but not everyone. That's what I learned this in my 10 years of my training experience. Right? See, what happening is you should know architecture first. That's where.
So my
Yeah.
opinion is like if we submit the username password right, so if that scenario is right, it will go to the login page. Otherwise, it will remain in the same page and it will throw an error.
Yeah, correct. So yeah, these things will be defined using the our architecture. So even though architecture is not required, even it's for own perform testing or only few like developers or you can say business analysts, no. Testers should also have the architecture knowledge. So that you will get to know what is happening. Okay, if I give username password, it makes some API calls and that API calls will connect to DB and it will validate there. If it valid username, valid password, my DB gives it's a success and it will go to this one. If I give invalid name, invalid password, okay, the DB will say it's failed and we get some same page. Like username password is not wrong. So you should know architecture from where and what is happening. If you click on login, I'm getting home page. Okay, that's fine. That's for basic level or entry level or faster level. But if you say 5 years, 7 years, I'm technical expert or like in the interviews, right? See, if you go to 10 members went to interview, out of 10 members, all 10 members will say for same answer for basic questions, correct? Now they will ask in the back end. If something went wrong, how will debug it? So these times where our weightage will come as because we should be, if we were 10 members, right? We should be in, suppose if we went to 10 members with interview, we should select 10 members have Selenium automation testing of 5 years. So how we will select one out of them? So you should be special. You should be having special knowledge. That's where these things will come. Correct. So you should have knowledge on architecture level. If you know architecture of application, what is got, what is how it's going, and what a servers is talking to. So how it's displaying the data. And how it validates. Suppose we are getting right invalid username, invalid password. How it's getting that from where you are getting. So these things you should learn the architecture level. Not like deeply, but what is what? Just very basic level. Okay, if I click on button, one API is getting called. This API will be going to some server. Server will do
Excuse me.
DB. Yeah.
Can you explain what is API call?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So now, as we discussed right yesterday, it's a front end. So this front end will talk to your back end using the APIs. So if you click on any website inspect, any browser, right? You got dev tools. This is called dev tools. In the dev tools, if you see the network option, suppose if I click on username and password, let's give a username and password, login. So this may one API call, you see. So API got nothing but whatever the front end is there, right? It see, if it is my server, if it's running in my machine, I don't have APIs because I can directly talk to my server, but my server is in some US or some London region. So everyone should access, right? Whoever using this URL, they should get the data. How they get the data? There should be common link, right? Let's open a Paint. I'll understand easy way. Okay, this is my browser. So whatever the URL, if I enter facebook.com or gmail.com, right? I'm getting the data. How I'm getting the data? It will talk to servers in the backend using APIs. Okay, API is nothing but application programming interface. This will help us to communicate between our client and browser, nothing but our client and our server. Suppose, see, I'm teaching this class, right? You are able to see in your own machines, your laptop or mobiles. So how it's happening? There should be a common server where whatever I'm telling, whatever I'm displaying it go to that server, one server, and where it will be accessing it. So like this is me, and you guys are like person 1, person 2, person 3. So everyone will get to know this one. So it is nothing but just data. Now if you see in this case, see, I've given username and password, right? If you use payload, you see, right? This is username and this is password. So when I click on login button, this application will call the API. Says that send the data to this URL. This is called API. And once the response, where is that response? So your preview, we're not in response here. So if you see in the response code, see status code 200 means it's success. Then go to this page. So that details will be in this APIs. APIs are nothing but communication of our front end to servers. Because everyone will have their own, right? They can't give one server to you. Right? So to communicate our API, suppose if I click on search here something, no demos, let's say if I click on demos and search, what will happen? This will make one call. You will see here search PHP, this make one call, says search it with this demos. Okay, you got the data. So this data will be displayed here. Okay, whatever is in front end, we'll get the data directly through that one. Okay, please join again. This will be disconnecting. Please join the same link. I'm ending the call. Okay, I'm just ending the call. Please rejoin the same link now.
Sure.
Yeah.